Welcome back, dear friends, to another journey through the veil that separates our world from the divine mysteries that surround us. Today, we explore a profound encounter that speaks to the very heart of our spiritual existence. A moment when the extraordinary became visible through the eyes of a man whose life was a testament to faith. In the quiet hills of southern Italy, where heaven and earth seemed to meet in the person of a humble Capuchin friar, unfolded a story that reminds us how precious each soul is in the eyes of eternity. In the small village of San Giovanni Rotondo, nestled among the gentle slopes of Monte Gargano, lived a man whose name has become synonymous with mysterious gifts and profound spiritual insight. Francesco Forgione, known to the world as Padre Pio, moved through life with the stigmata marking his hands, feet, and side, a living embodiment of Christ's passion. Yet beyond these visible signs, perhaps his most extraordinary gift was the ability to perceive what remains hidden to most, the spiritual realm that exists alongside our own. The year was 1947, a time when Italy was still recovering from the devastation of the Second World War. The air in San Giovanni Rotondo carried both the scent of wild herbs from the surrounding countryside and the lingering weight of collective grief. Padre Pio had already established a reputation that drew pilgrims from across Italy and beyond. They came seeking healing, wisdom, or simply to be in the presence of a man who seemed to stand with one foot in this world and one in the next. On a Wednesday evening in late autumn, when the shadows grew long and the church of Our Lady of Grace was bathed in the amber light of sunset, Padre Pio was making his way slowly through the side chapel after hearing confessions. His day had been long, his body racked with the familiar pain that never left him. Those who saw him that evening later recalled how he paused suddenly, his eyes fixed on something no one else could see in the corner of the chapel, near a small, neglected shrine dedicated to the holy souls. Brother Modestino Fucci, who often assisted Padre Pio during this period, witnessed the moment and would later provide one of the few first-hand accounts. The Padre stopped as if struck by something, he recounted years later. His face, always marked by suffering, transformed into an expression of profound wonder, then deep sorrow. He stood transfixed, speaking words I could barely hear, addressing someone invisible to my eyes. What Brother Modestino and others present did not see was what had captured Padre Pio's attention so completely. According to his own testimony, given reluctantly to his spiritual director, Father Agostino Daniele, Padre Pio had witnessed a scene of extraordinary poignancy, a radiant figure standing in an attitude of profound grief beside the altar. "I saw light where there should have been shadow," he explained quietly, "and within this light, a being of such beauty that no earthly comparison would suffice. Yet this beautiful creature was weeping, tears that seemed made of light flowing down its face." The friar's hands trembled as he recounted what followed. The being, which he recognized immediately as a guardian angel, turned toward him with an expression of such sorrow that Padre Pio felt his heart constrict in his chest. Then, with a gesture of ineffable gentleness, the angel indicated the space beside him, which appeared empty to human eyes. "Father," Padre Pio told his spiritual director, his voice barely above a whisper, "the angel wept not for himself, but for the soul entrusted to his care, a soul whose memory had faded from this earth, whose name was no longer spoken in prayer, whose grave lay unvisited and untended, a forgotten soul." This encounter, recorded in Father Agostino's meticulous journals and later confirmed through Padre Pio's personal correspondence, opens a window into one of the most profound mysteries of faith, the relationship between the seen and unseen worlds, and the eternal bond between guardian angels and the souls entrusted to their care. To understand the depth of this moment, we must first understand something of the Catholic tradition surrounding guardian angels. These beings, according to centuries of theological teaching, are assigned to each person at birth, tasked with protection, guidance, and ultimately with helping souls navigate the journey towards salvation. The relationship is not simply one of distant guardianship, but of profound, personal love, a love that transcends death itself. The angel Padre Pio witnessed was mourning not the loss of life, for in spiritual understanding, death is merely transition, but rather the fading of memory, the cessation of prayers that might ease the soul's journey through purgation toward divine union. In the Catholic understanding, the prayers of the living serve as tangible assistance to those souls completing their purification before entering the fullness of God's presence. Brother Consalvo Vaz, another friar who was present that evening, later recalled how Padre Pio approached the seemingly empty space with reverence. He moved as one approaching sacred ground, Brother Consalvo wrote in his memoirs. Then, to our astonishment, he knelt and began to pray with such intensity that the very air around us seemed charged with power. I have witnessed the Padre in prayer countless times, but never with such urgent compassion. The prayer concluded, Padre Pio rose slowly, the effort visibly taxing his strength. Those close enough heard him whisper, "Peace now, little one. You are remembered." Then, addressing the space where he had seen the angel, he added, "Your vigil has been witnessed. Your tears are counted." What followed this encounter reveals much about Padre Pio's understanding of the communion between the living and the dead. Rather than keeping the experience private, he took an unusual step. During his homily the following Sunday, without explicitly mentioning what he had witnessed, he spoke with unusual passion about the forgotten dead. "There are souls," he told the assembled faithful, his voice carrying to the farthest corners of the packed church, "who have no one left on earth to speak their names or offer prayers for their peace. They wait in shadows of their own making, accompanied only by the angels who never abandon those entrusted to their care. These angels weep, yes, weep, for the suffering that continues not from divine punishment, but from the absence of love reaching across the veil." The congregation sat in stunned silence as he continued, "When you pray for your beloved dead, add always a prayer for those who have no one to remember them. When you light a candle for your mother, your father, your child gone too soon, light one also for a soul whose name you do not know. For in this action you join your heart with the angels who keep eternal vigil. This teaching, that guardian angels remain with souls even after death, continuing their ministry of love and protection through the purification of purgatory, was not new to Catholic thought, but Padre Pio's vivid experience gave it new immediacy and power. The image of an angel weeping beside a forgotten soul captured something essential about spiritual reality, that love transcends death, that bonds formed in divine purpose are not broken by the passing from one state of existence to another. In the weeks that followed this incident, a remarkable transformation took place in San Giovanni Rotondo. The small shrine near where Padre Pio had his vision became a place of constant prayer. Candles multiplied, their flames flickering day and night as people came to offer what the friar had requested, prayers for those who had no one else to remember them. Maria Concetta Bellini, then a young woman who had traveled from Naples seeking healing for her brother, left a written account of the atmosphere in the church during this period. "It was as if the veil between worlds had grown thin," she wrote. "When I knelt before the shrine to pray for the forgotten souls, I felt a presence so tangible that I wept without understanding why. Not tears of sorrow, but of connection, as if my small act of remembrance had bridged some vast distance." The story of the weeping angel might have remained local to San Giovanni Rotondo had it not been for what happened approximately 3 months after Padre Pio's initial vision. On a cold February morning in 1948, as the friar was preparing for early Mass, a letter arrived from a small village near Turin in northern Italy. The letter, preserved now in the archives of the monastery, came from a woman named Elisabetta Verdi. "Reverend Father," she wrote, "I have never met you, nor am I likely to make the journey to San Giovanni Rotondo in my lifetime. I write because of a dream so vivid that even now, weeks later, it remains before my eyes as clearly as the paper on which I write these words." Elisabetta went on to describe a dream in which she saw her father, dead now for over 30 years, and rarely remembered in prayer by his only child, who had been merely 3 years old when he passed. In this dream, her father stood in a place of shadows, but not alone. Beside him was a being of light that Elisabetta, with no theological training, nonetheless identified as surely an angel, though unlike any painting I have ever seen. "The angel was weeping," she continued, "and in my dream I understood these tears were for my father, forgotten for so long. But then something changed. The angel looked up, beyond my father, beyond me, and its expression transformed from sorrow to gratitude. 'He is remembered now,' the angel said, though no sound reached my ears. 'A holy man kneels and prays, and through his prayer many others will come.'" Elisabetta concluded her letter with a question that sent a profound chill through those who read it. "Father, did you pray for my father, Giuseppe Verdi, who died in 1917 and has had no mass said for the repose of his soul since my mother passed in 1920? Did you somehow see his angel weeping? For since my dream, I have felt compelled to pray for him daily, and a great peace has entered my heart." The specificity of the date, matching precisely the evening when Padre Pio had witnessed the weeping angel, and the fact that Elisabetta had no conceivable way of knowing about the friar's vision, as it had not been publicly shared beyond his immediate circle, added a layer of validation that could not easily be dismissed. Father Dominic Morelli, who served as secretary to Padre Pio during this period, recorded the friar's response upon reading Elisabetta's letter. "He grew very still," Father Dominic wrote, then crossed himself slowly. When he looked up, there were tears in his eyes, but also a smile of extraordinary tenderness. "The communion of saints," he said softly, "is more real than the chair on which you sit. Remember this always." Padre Pio's reply to Elisabetta, sent after careful consideration and prayer, was characteristically humble. He neither confirmed nor denied the connection between his vision and her dream, but encouraged her to continue her prayers, not only for her father, but for all souls who might be forgotten. "The greatest charity," he wrote, "is to remember those who have no one else to remember them." The story of the weeping guardian angel reveals something profound about Padre Pio's spiritual vision, and indeed about the Catholic understanding of the communion of saints. In this worldview, death creates not an impenetrable barrier, but a thin veil through which love, prayer, and spiritual assistance continue to flow. The guardian angels, created to guide and protect souls through earthly life, continue their ministry of love even after death, accompanying souls through their final purification. Perhaps most moving in this account is the revelation of divine mercy extending through every level of creation. From God who assigns each soul an angelic companion, to the angel who remains faithful even when human memory fails, to the mystic whose spiritual sight allows him to witness this fidelity, to the ordinary faithful who respond by expanding their prayers to include those unknown to them but known eternally to God. In San Giovanni Rotondo today, the tradition begun after Padre Pio's vision continues. The first Monday of each month is dedicated to special masses and prayers for the forgotten dead. Thousands of slips of paper bearing the words, "For a soul whose name is known only to God," are placed beneath the altar, each representing a person's commitment to remember those who would otherwise remain unremembered. Sister Benedetta Fiorentino, who has served at the sanctuary for over 40 years, speaks of countless stories from pilgrims who have participated in this practice. They come back, she says, often with tears in their eyes, telling of dreams where they glimpse figures gradually moving from shadow into light, or of inexplicable sensations of gratitude washing over them during prayer. Some even speak of seeing, just at the edge of vision, what might be the shimmer of angelic wings. What are we to make of such accounts? In our modern world, where the empirical and measurable hold such sway, stories of weeping angels and souls awaiting prayer might seem to belong to a more credulous age. Yet perhaps it is our age that suffers from a poverty of vision, an inability to perceive the rich tapestry of existence that extends beyond what our physical senses can detect. Padre Pio's vision of the weeping guardian angel invites us to consider a more expansive understanding of reality, one in which love does not end with death, in which our spiritual connections continue to matter eternally, and in which even the forgotten are never truly alone. It challenges us to look beyond the immediate and visible, to recognize our place within a communion that transcends time and space. As we conclude our exploration of this profound encounter, let us take to heart the lesson embedded within it. Each soul matters, eternally and infinitely. Each prayer offered creates ripples in spiritual reality that our limited perception cannot fully grasp. And perhaps, when we remember to pray for those who have no one else to remember them, we bring joy to the angels who never cease their loving vigil. Until we meet again, dear friends, may we live with greater awareness of the unseen world that surrounds us, and may we never underestimate the power of remembrance, of prayer, and of love that reaches beyond the grave. For as Padre Pio reminded us through his extraordinary encounter, in the economy of God's mercy, no soul is ever truly forgotten.